How are you, Noel?
Mate, how are you? Long time no see.
Yeah, it has been a while. Good to see you back. I hope you had a good Christmas and New Year's.
Has it been that long?
It's been a while, yeah. So,
well, certainly it's been that long since we've been on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, you've been seeing a lot of games and the T20s and the Saturday one day. So
plenty of action.
Yeah.
But look, before we get into that, mate, first of all, welcome back, viewers. It is, of course, me, Noelzy Johnston, with David Peasy.
Yep.
PZ. He doesn't like the full spelling of his nickname, so just PZ. Welcome back, mate. Look, has been lots going on, not just for the show, but for Perth Swan Cricket Association. We've had President's Cup. You mentioned the ID Athletic T20.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of other things going on in between around the place as well. Cricket West.
We'll
talk about that just very briefly later.
Back into the 2 days now for the top four grades. So
1 day has been done and dusted, but of course we couldn't do any of this without our broadcast sponsors, and a big thanks to Mike Ash at Vision Decor for their support, and to, of course, Josh Saddy and the team at ID Athletic as well. If you look after them, they'll look after you, because they look after us and many other clubs across the association, Peasy.
Yeah, a lot of clubs have jumped on ID Athletic and they're doing a very good job. Having a wide range of sporting apparel on and off the field, so it's good. So get involved.
Look for our new winter stock coming soon, courtesy of ID Athletic. But look, we'll go through all the grades. We're just going to do it as it has been 2 months. I thought about it today. 2 months since our last Wednesday night show. So viewers, it is about you as much as it is about us and the stats and whatever. So if you've got any comments, milestones, achievements that have happened, we've got a few at the end there.
Yeah.
Feel free to jump on and let us know, Peasy.
There's definitely been some talking about milestones. There has been a fair few, even since January. So definitely mention those. But if you do have any more, let us know. Where do you want to start tonight, Noel?
Well, look, I know you're a fan of order, so let's start with the local loan company first grade. They've been in the 1 day mode, Peasy, over the summer or the holiday break in December, January, back into 2 days now.
Yep, a couple of changes in the ladder since then as well. So SKLP had a very good 1 day period and jumped right up there in the third spot. But we'll go into have a look at the games from the weekend. So now we're back into the 2 day games. We had fourth placed Carlisle, who's just hanging on in front of Hawke's Punjabi, taking on Swanview. And a game, not a bad game there. Swanview got 200 in a bit of early trouble, but Aaron Dean led the way. Prawny, he got a nice 53, well supported by his captain, Chris Wollaston, and Hassan got 30, and Will Keeley took a nice 4 for 6 there, so he bowled very well with the feedback from the club. 200, the game in the balance, and a bit like the rest of the games there, Noel.
Well, yeah, there are plenty of other games across the local loan company first grade, and welcome back to the 2 day mode to all the clubs there. Bayswater Postals managed to get all the way through, and in fact, unusually declared 9 for 189, I think it was. McFarlane with 42, the always reliable Mr. Nucky there, 38. Hawke's Punjabi, none for 19 in response. This one, an interesting one. Just looking at the ladder as well for Hawke's Punjabi.
Yeah, so Hawks are still a chance for the top four, sitting on equal points with Carlisle. But at 189, that's a interesting score to chase. Number 19, and again, that was very interesting. I think they declared 69.5 overs. Bayswater. So they had one more ball, the game's over, and Hawke's Punjabi had to go on and bat. They must have bowled their overs very quick. Maybe they wanted to go and watch a bit of Scorchers.
There's a bit of that going.
And Bayswater said, no, you're not going anywhere. You're going to go and bat. And they batted for like 12 overs. So a big day there. Yeah, that's going to be a close finish, I think. It's at Hillcrest, so quick ground, but sometimes people get a bit excited. They play it at Hillcrest there, and they think, oh, there's going to be plenty of runs. But if Bayswater bowl well, so I'll be interested to see how that goes on Saturday. The next game was Ellenbrook and Les Murdy. Allenbrook, massive trouble, 4 for 30 early, and then the two Canal brothers got together and had a really good game. 90 for Josh and 63 for Roland. Richo back, so Richo had a bit of time out during the one days. He's picked up 4 for 32. I'm sure he had a bit of energy in the belly and was coming out bowling some thunderbolts. And then Rosier and Dan Smith also got a couple of wickets there. So 220, that's a good score.
Well, it is, and so, I mean, look, 70 overs, that's three, just a little bit over three. And as you mentioned, Richard being what they describe in football terms as managed.
Managed, yes.
Managed, he's been time managed. A bit like Weasel, he didn't do the semi-final, but got the grand final. He's online and says, "G'day." So
good to see you.
Good to see you there, Weez.
Yeah.
We could be twins there. And look, one last game, SKLP up against Mount Lawley Inglewood. You would imagine interesting with regard to the heat last week and winning the toss, whether you wanted to bat or bowl as well. You know, I saw some of the clubs commenting in their write-ups they wanted to or had to bowl because of how their situation was in age, etc. So
So
well, anyway,
Josh, I wouldn't have wanted to be out there fielding in 40-degree heat.
So Cran with 81, a good knock there, very good.
Good player, good captain of the side, led from the front there. 181 again. It gives you a chance to win that game. So SKLP is the form team. I think they've won 7 in a row. So they'll be pretty confident to chase that down. But a couple of early wickets there for Mount Lawley, and the game's on.
Well, SKLP, I'm just going to say, might be a little nervous going back into 2-day mode.
Yeah, yes.
You know, it was a bit bumpy early on in the season. The challenge for them, really, I think, Peasy. So looking at the ladder, Les Murdy on top, Swanview, SKLP, and Carlisle, those 4 look pretty much a lock.
They're in.
And only Hawks Punjabi, maybe with a chance from 5.
Yeah, so this week, if Hawks do chase that 189 down and Swanview were able to dismiss Carlisle, Hawks would jump back into the top 4. But next week, Carlisle and Hawks play against each other. So that's probably the game is going to determine who gets that last spot in the finals, I'm guessing.
Oh, you'd imagine so.
Yeah.
All right. So looking at this week, just quickly, well, we've already got
gone through that one.
Got that one. All right, let's move on. Second grade. Just a reminder, as Weasel's done there, if you've got any comments, special shout-outs, milestones, please feel free to jump on. Let us know, because this is all about you and your clubs. Peasy, second grade, been interesting also in 2-day mode back, 1-day mode back to 2-day.
Yes, definitely. Again, this competition, I think a few of the top teams were playing the bottom sides, but some interesting results there. Belmont still top of the ladder. They hit 9 for 9, 191. Good score to start coming back into the 2-day games. SKLP, their ground was a little bit. I played there a couple of weeks ago. Maguire's a little bit slow,
long, a little heavy.
I think if you want to score runs there, I think you hit 6s. I think then University's playing Les Murdy. Again, University just outside the 4 on 30 points, and Les Murdy sitting on the bottom there. 168, maybe not enough. I think University have now found their way in the second grade. They started the season a bit slow, and they're starting to get a few wins. So, and a win there could put them right in the mix there for that 4th spot.
Well, it is, and Caversham in trouble if University able to jump up there. So some pressure on both grades there. And just quickly running through some of the highlights from second grade there. 3 for 43 to Vasani for SKLP. One thing I've got to say, Peasy, and this, this is the Perth Swan Cricket Association midweek show, and I'm not attached, although I am a Middle Swan man, to any particular club. Bit of feedback to all you clubs out there and the association, maybe just to get on to them.
Yep.
Data entry in my cricket, trying to pull some information out for the shows, for prep.
Yep.
It's awful, and we'll see that as we move through the grades here tonight. So a big brickbat to all the clubs not doing it, because really we rely on them to put the information on. You shouldn't have to put it in. I know I used to do it when I was captain. It takes half hour.
Yeah, or definitely now you can score on the iPad. It's already in.
Yeah.
All they do is upload it and it's there. So that's how we try to recommend clubs to use the device to put their scores in, because it means you don't have to. No one has to enter it the next day. It's already there. So if you get a chance, again, you can buy one of those cheaper Lenovo's or something like that, which is only $150 instead of $1,000 like an Apple. But so I'm not getting paid for any of those companies. So
neither am I. So that's the last mention. I'm not saying.
But yeah, that's a lot easier if you can do that. Other games there in the second grade. So as we mentioned, Caversham, they'd be 197, not a bad score. A couple of starts there, Beatty and Eswar, both got 30s. Dan Roberts 4 for 45 for Ascot. That's a big game there, third versus fourth. So 197, Ascot wins that, and they could jump to second. If they lose it, Caversham probably overtakes them. So.
And we were talking last season about Ascot and the struggling they weren't doing. Good to see them up and about there as well. Yeah,
I think it come down from A grade. They were doing the right thing the last 2 years in A grade, playing a lot of young fellas. But yeah, it was probably time to come down, get a couple of wins, get a bit of confidence. And there's a few teams there. There's probably 6 teams there that could all come to A grade and still be competitive. SKP and Lesmead have already got their teams in A grade, but the rest of the sides, I think it's a pretty competitive second grade there. But talking about competitive, Forestfield are the team who started to hit a bit of form.
Yeah.
They had a couple of guys the last few weeks hit tons, and Brody Cover looks like he's on his way again. He's 41 not out. They've already passed the score. It'll be interesting what they do. Fenner has dropped off a little bit, and Forestfield may want to lock in that home final and second spot. So there may be an opportunity to go for an outright there. So.
Well, see, it's interesting because Forestfield have jumped from fifth since our last show up into second, and the opportunity for a home final out there at Hartfield would have to be tempting. So I don't know. What do you reckon in terms of 111? What would you say as something to maybe 200 by drinks? You're 3 down.
Yeah, you've probably got 2 options. So you can either go hard early, try to get some runs on the board, or they could declare straight away, give themselves enough time to bowl the team out, and then maybe in the last hour try to hit whatever Ferndale gets. But either way, it probably doesn't matter. It depends. The safer option is probably to hit runs, but then you might not give yourself enough time to get them out. So yeah, that's all good.
We'll stay tuned on that one because I know, and we'll do this while I remember, Forestfield are having an 80s back to
80s day.
Back to 80s day.
19th. Okay, yeah. I wonder if a few of their old blokes that might have played in the 80s might come along. You know, Ray Sheridan might get the big orange hair back out, or I reckon Ashley might go a good throw too. Maybe Brett Ashdown, a few of those boys. So I'm sure they'll have a good time up there. I have enjoyed their Facebook posts. They've gone way back Wednesdays. They had a picture of their pavilion back when it was only one story, and then they had a picture of their 99-2000 premiership side, and there was a few familiar names in that side that still hang around the Forestfield area. So I think some clubs doing some really good stuff on their Facebook.
Very much so.
And also Forestfield, they've got jumped onto the frog box
and
as well. So.
Look, I've explored that. If there are any tech people out there, the reality is Frogbox works off the My Cricket, and for us as a show to sign up is like a lot of money, more than you blokes pay me. But clubs that are getting on there, I would actually say if you want to throw a commentator behind there from your club and stream it, you can actually have commentary with Frogbox. It's just static vision, but you can have commentary. So if there's anyone out there that wants to get onto a Frogbox commentary and just do that,
I think it looks it's actually looking really good. There's I think there's a few. I think Cavish do it, Forestfield do it, and I think there's another club that also does it. Scarborough might be. I think it's a great exposure for their club. They can promote some of their sponsors. Again, I know my club's been looking at them and thinking, oh, we're moving away from my cricket next year. They're still going to be compatible, but
what the?
or we got to play HQ next year.
Oh.
So
Does everyone know that?
I think so.
Okay.
They should have been getting emails the last couple of years, hopefully. If they've been reading
Just
them,
checking.
if they've been reading them is the other thing. But no, it's great. It's great for the club. And I think you go the next level up. The next level, it automatically does all the highlights of the wickets and the boundaries.
Yeah, you can do.
So
all that,
that's pretty cool. That'd be really good if you get that at your club. But not everyone can do that. But
again, if there's any tech people out there, with the van now, we had Jesse with us over the T20. Weasel online there joined us for one day.
Yeah, listen to that game. That was good.
And Declan for a couple, unfortunately, couldn't stay with us. But look, people, if you're interested, have a chat because there's plenty of ways you can get involved. Peasy, let's get on to third grade.
We're
here tonight.
Yeah, okay. Third grade again. All three games probably a little bit one-sided in this grade. The top three sides have made a bit of a break on the rest of the field, and especially the top two sides. Middle Swan kept going on their merry way. They're going pretty well there. They rolled SKLP for 69.
Oh, did that hurt?
No. That was a bit of indigestion there. Brent Reinholzen, every time he sees...
Sorry, what's his name?
Brent Reinholzen, isn't it?
Holston.
Holston. So sorry there, Rhino.
PSCA.
Every time he seems to play, he gets a fifer. So 5 for 17 there, rolls SKLP for 69. And Middle Swan already 4 for 124. And Matt Lolly again in the runs, 59. So well done to Matt. Good work.
Yeah, good work by Jacob Burns there. I'll just give Barros a shout out. Partnering with Matt Lolly. In partnership got the runs there. So,
brilliant. That's good.
Good to see for the club. Mount Lawley Inglewood, let's have a look there. All out for 80. Tough day. They've had a tough season.
Yeah. It looks like Ferndale had a few of their bowlers back. They missed a few over a couple across the one-day matches, but now they've got that Shah 4 for 16, Milan Chetri 2 for 7, and Tobin Singhi 2 for 18. I think it is, but they've got a very good bowling line of that Ferndale side, and they're well on their way at 2 for 67, chasing 80.
All right, now the last match in third grade, Ascot making 133, Stevenson 50 not out, good knock there, Kumar 32, well, Jade.
Yeah, Chevy Jade.
Okay, 5 for 25, not a bad.
Yeah, he's a good bowler, Big Chevy, so he bowled very well. Ascot were in a lot of trouble. I'm pretty sure Kumar batted 9 and Stevenson number 10. The two top scorers there. So
oh dear. And that's 80 between them.
Yeah, so I think they put on about 60, 70 for the 9th wicket partnership to get them up to 133. So well done to them. Some of you, good start there. 1 for 47 batting out till stumps. Sunny Singh 39 not out. So good start there. As I mentioned before, Middle Swan and Swanview, a bit of a gap there at top. Ferndale's probably not going to get caught by SKLP, but Ascot and SKLP 4th and 5th, still both a chance, and they play each other in the last round. So I'm guessing that's who wins that will get the 4th spot. So,
and it's a top of the table clash in next week. Middle Swan up against Swanview at Jackman Oval there. So
Jackman, yep.
That one also likely to set a bit of a premiership.
Yes, I was going to say so. Yeah. So
not that I'm putting the moth on anyone. Whenever a side loses, it's my fault. I don't bat, I don't bowl, I don't field, I don't drop catches. How is it my fault?
That's what I try to ask you. I feel bad when I ask for your tips. No.
Commentators curse is real. Okay, the last of the 2-day grades here, 4th grade. Just 6 teams in this competition, so 2 to miss out. Allenbrook. And this is where I started talking about lack of data here, mate.
Oh, yeah.
Allenbrook defeated University, apparently.
Forfeit. There it is. That's why there's no results there. University struggled to get a team last week. That's their lowest team, so that's where they forfeited. But it's actually a good result for Allenbrook. I think they started the round on 36 points in fourth position, and now they've got 12 points, and they've already gone to 48. So they've jumped from fourth to second. So well done to Ellenbrook there. I know a few people at some view are a bit like, well, they get an outright for a forfeit, but that's what happens in two-day cricket.
Wow.
Bad luck, boys.
Well, we won our last arts game on Monday 11-0 because the opposition forfeited.
Yeah.
So we went from fourth to third. So yeah, it's like we'll take it. But look, Ascot, Swan View, there's a couple of things to mention in this game here. First of all, I'll let you talk about the next one in a moment. But
yep.
DC, Dave Catania, still able to hit some numbers there with a 68.
68, yeah. So well done, Dave. He got some time in the middle in the one day as he probably wasn't getting much of a bat. So he's gone down there and had a bit of a bat there. Some of he's made 6 for 286 and
a young
player, so a 15-year-old. So his first year of senior cricket. He's pretty talented young kid, good weed keeper, but he went out there and he hit 103. He's never hit a 50 in his life, and his first ever 50 is converted to 100. 15 years old. It's the first time a 15-year-old's hit 100 for our club. And Caleb Smith, what a bloody legend.
But not out as well.
Not out, yeah. So he batted at the end there. I think he was starting to tie around that 70, 80. It was pretty warm. It was great vision on our club group chat. His old man was actually umpiring the last bit as the player umpire.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't think anyone's hit 100 and then the umpires chased him to give him a hug. So, but
find that footage, we'll share it.
That was a great moment. And again, great. He came down the club. We have a tradition in our club where you get a bag of maroon if you hit 100. He didn't come. He slept in the car on the way home from the ground. Was at home, filled up with some water. He came down, and the boys loved it. He came down, and everyone got around him. So it was a great moment in the club. And the speech that his old man did when presenting the cap was a little bit emotional. I actually had a bit of a tear come down my face.
And he also got a few wickets, I believe. It's not mentioned there, but am I mistaken?
No, he didn't get any wickets. No, we haven't bowled yet.
Sorry, Caleb, just writing you off there.
Talking about wicket takers though, Mel Mayers, who took 3 for 42 for Ascot, he took his 900th wicket.
Thank you, Dave.
So well done to Mel. It would have been a long day out there, but he got 900 wickets. So very well done there to Mel.
Very well, 900.
Yeah, that's a lot of wickets.
That's a lot of wickets.
That's a lot of cricket, I think.
A lot of sky balls or a lot of accuracy. Look, last one in fourth grade, Ferndale 3 for 123, able to get up over Manbawley on first innings points there.
And they're well on top, Ferndale. They're going really well. They're a good side. Ferndale's gone pretty well across. Dropped off a little bit in the seconds, but their other two grades are still going very strong. So, well done to them.
All right. Well, ladder really just everyone's locked in. It's the top 4 are set.
Everyone's locked in.
Ferndale, next week just jostling for some positions.
Yeah, I think next week Swansea plays Ellenbrook. That's probably going to determine who gets the home final in the in the other final. Ferndale's got the home final and they're top the other one. So well done to them. Okay.
All right, into the one dayers, PC. Just a reminder, viewers, if you've got any milestone shout outs, mentions, drop them in the comments there. If you reckon PC and I are full of it, feel free to drop that in the comments there too. But please remember, I can't share things if you put swear words. So keep it sweet, just like us.
You broadcast games this week in this grade as well. So
it is, yes, indeed. Our broadcast brought to us by the platinum sponsors, ID Athletic and Vision Decor. Thanks to Josh Saddy at ID Athletic for all your sporting apparel and club merchandise needs, and Vision Decor for your blinds. They're working wonderfully in the broadcast van, I have to say.
That's good, yep. It's good. Mick Ash, I'm sure, looked after you down there at Vision Decor. Now, this one day grade A division, again, pretty much I think the top 4 is locked away. I'm going to say with 5 rounds to go.
Well, the big mover, though, has been Helena Valley. Before Christmas, outside, down in 6th, now in the top 4.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I think they've won 7 of the last 9 or something like that. So they're flying. I see on the weekend, Mr. Scroop is back as well. So last week, you had to play last week if you were going to play finals with qualification. So you need to get 6 weeks in your club. he got in last week and he'll play the rest of the season. If he doesn't, don't come asking me for a dispensation. Bad luck. You knew the rules. You knew the rules at Christmas. So
well, I'll find out because actually Dianella versus Helena Valley, the match of the week this week.
Second versus fourth. Yeah, that's a big game.
All right, running through the matches there. Coolbinia defeating Scarborough. Scarborough 117, not enough. Coolbinia 186.
Yeah. Happy Bopparai.
That's how I say it.
Is it? All right. Sorry, 72. Jared Aspinall 70 for Scarborough, and Sohi 4 for 6 for Coolbinia. So well done there.
Unfortunately, we mentioned before, Coolbinia, big shout out to you guys. We're due to be the broadcast match this week against Caversham, but couldn't get ground access, Peter. So that's another challenge for clubs with the broadcast van. They need to be able to let us on so we can film.
Again, top 4 this week all playing against each other. So there could be some moves within the top 4.
All right, so let's have a look at, we'll
keep going through the results. I just noticed that was the top 4. Dianella versus Caversham. Dianella 9 for 170. Hutchinson got a 40 there, and Caversham 135. Got Singh 39, and we had a couple of blokes take some wickets there. Zach Hupping 3 for 15. Norris or something like that. Ali, sorry if I've got that wrong. 3 for 26. Bailey O'Keefe 2 for 15, and Tyler Hupping 2 for 26. So Dianella, very good, strong bowling lineup. They're sitting second on the ladder. That's a good second versus third. I think that actually Dianella might have jumped Caversham back there. 2 and 3.
That's based on today.
Oh yeah, no, I think last week maybe Caversham was second and Dianella was third.
Oh.
So then they've jumped. So Dianella's back into second there. So well done to them. Forestfield.
Well, they're on the winners list.
Yes, they haven't had a win since round 2, and they got their round 16 comes along and they've won. So 9 for 1. Oh no, they were chasing. So Mundaring batted first. 7 for 152. Another young fella, Hunter Wills. I think he's only 14. He's 29. Nimmo 28. And then Forestfield 9 for 153 chasing. Young Oscar Brown 5 for 18. So well done there to Oscar.
It's good to see the young people having a go there. Hunter just watching his dad the other week at the Cricket West Vets. So big shout out to family there. And Steve Nimmo, definitely not a young fella. All right, the last match was the broadcast match. And I will apologise, viewers. The Heat, hopefully, Peasy and I were talking before. I think the answer to the solution is online. Little semiconductors. Who knew they even existed? None of the phone shops. Want a side industry out there, viewers? Buy a container, as in a shipping container of these things, because you can't buy them in store anywhere in Perth. Have to get them online. So I apologise to anyone who got a great wicket that wasn't caught on camera. But mate,
that's what happens with a hot day. I reckon there's a few batsmen and bowlers that missed out on wickets on the weekend because it was so hot. So or either got out because of that.
Just a call for people to get involved because really, you know, T20's over. Jesse's back at work. He's been promoted a little bit, so Jesse's doing some work. Yeah, congrats to him. Yeah. But I need some help, viewers. Jump on board if you're old. Not even if you're old. If you're young, interested. Yeah. Opportunities abound wherever you are now. Peasy, before we move on, let's run through this week's list because there are some big games. Coolbinia v Caversham, 1v3.
1v3, big game. Coolbinia were the runaway train at the start of the season. Caversham been very consistent this year. I think Coolbinia probably at home, but and I've heard some stories about the Coolbinia pitch, actually. I've never played at Coolbinia. Apparently the pitch has a massive angle on it, so you can actually bowl and hit the angle and it bounce it back. So you can use that to your advantage if you're a bowler. But yeah, Coolbinia would want to stay on top, want to get a home final, so I'm going to say they're going to win. Dianella Helena Valley, the broadcast match, do you want to say them there?
No, I'm looking forward to catching up with, seeing the Huppings. They've been in some good form of late, as you mentioned, both Zach and Tyler in some good form. And Helena Valley also were pretty good, I have to say. Reece Griffiths with 86.
Yeah, that's good. It's good to see him back playing cricket, so that's good.
Yeah, and Will Maddock there for Glen Forest to stand out with 49. Unlucky Will.
Yeah, he's always in the runs there. Other game, Forestfield Scarborough, 6th versus 8th. Forest will be hoping to get another win in a row, but I'm going to say Scarborough will bounce back there. And Mundaring versus Glen Forest, interesting game here. Up at Mundaring, a bit of a Hills rivalry. Mundaring, possible. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, if Mundaring batsmen get the I've got knowledge.
Yeah. Mundaring have a couple of guys. If they fire,
the opening 3 or 4 to have 130, 140 on the board.
Yeah.
And then Mundaring at home definitely.
Yeah. I don't think Mundaring will catch Helena Valley, but they get the win this week. Helena Valley go down, it does make it a bit closer, but that's 3 games behind with 5 rounds to go.
Helena Valley in there because of that. So well done to them, and we'll see them 3 weeks in a row. Good to see Jeff Mann online, riding his tiny for me from there, Peasy. Is
the Swanalina Shield being awarded this season?
That's a great question.
Also, all right.
Let's pull that up.
We did look at doing it last year, but what we needed was another backing piece, and if we put another backing piece on, no one could lift it. Okay, so that was the problem. It's got 4 pieces of wood already. To put a 5th piece of wood on there would have been a struggle.
So can you not start a new one?
Yeah, Paul. I think there should be a shield because I think it's important.
Absolutely.
I know we're just going there because again it would be nice to have that history.
Photos,
but I think a shield would be magnificent.
Perpetual shield, and a trophy or something.
Yeah. So, but that's the only reason we didn't use this old Swanalina one, because another backing, it was already heavy. Put another one on the back.
So what year was the last year of the current big 4-layered one then? Question without notice.
That would have been 11 blokes can lift it. Good on you, Jeff. It would have been 18, 19. The last year Swanalina was used, and that was it. So,
all right, something to take for the.
But again, I think that could be something.
Conversations.
I think that's something. Again, the picture with the shield there looks better than the picture with a little flag. All right. So I think it's definitely something we should look at.
Well, food for thought, and that's what we love about it. Thanks, Manny. Always good to have you on, and we'll talk about Les Murdy and their underperformance in the President's Cup in a little while. All right, B Division, Dianella still dominant, mate. Can Brabham, Mount Lawley, or Caversham get in though? That's the question, because those 3 sides all battling for those last couple of spots.
Yeah. No, I think Coolbini will hold on to the fourth spot. I think they're a good club. Maybe Brabham on their day, but they haven't been in some form recently. They've actually dropped down the ladder. I think they were up at the 2nd and 3rd there for a while. Now they've lost a few. So I don't know. They've lost a few players. Maybe a few people gone home over the holidays or something like that. So, but as you said, Dianella's flying, sitting on top of the ladder, doing it pretty easy. Pretty good for a club who's got a Division and a B Division side. Yeah. They've absolutely smashed Caversham on the weekend by 140 runs, and 100 there for Ali Ashard, 106. So well done. Essing for Caversham had a good day. He got 75 and took a 4 for 40. And Hassan actually for Dianella also got 50 and at 5 for 33. So well done there.
Good thing those blokes turned up.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. The next game was Coolbini and University. University, they got promoted, have struggled this year. They're probably just hoping the season finishes soon, but they nearly pulled one off there. So they only made 81. Coolbini 8 for 86. So chasing. So well done to University for fighting it out. Yeah. But probably need a bit of a better performance this week with the bat.
There, Barnesy with 2 for 3. Not a bad performance.
Yeah.
All right, Les Murdy Mazenod, 4 for 231 compulsory declared at 40 overs. So good night
against Midland. And I think that game would make them jump. I think that ladder wasn't up. That one game wasn't in the ladder. So I think Les Murdy had jumped Midland to get in the 2nd spot. Yeah, so a few boys shared the load there. Warden 49, Marilich 45, Adam Pottinger 42 coming off his 100 he scored the other week. Robinson 34 and Carney 27. And then Midland we had Covley 38 and Jeffrey 26 and a couple of Poss, Chris Williams, 3 for 36, and Robinson backed up his runs with 3 for 34. So, big game. That was a big game there, fighting for that second spot and maybe a home final. So, good work. And the last game,
not the lead-in that Brabham would want going into the finals if they're looking for that 4th spot going down to Mount Lawley. No. Only able to muster 120 there, 45 to Thupper, but Henderson with 36 for Mount Lawley in their total of 135, feeding Brabham 120. All right. So Dianella, Midland, Les Murdy, although subject to Peasy switching them around apparently, and Coolbinia will probably be the 4 there. Matches today, or this weekend, I should say. Caversham, Coolbinia.
So this
have to go Coolbinia.
Yeah, so this is where, when you question, did Brabham, Mount Lawley, and Cavi get there? I think this week could be the one. Coolbinia has got the 17 Caversham, so Caversham would need to win that. If Coolbinia win, though, Mount Lawley's playing Dianella, who's on top, so they'll probably lose there. And I'm going to back in Midland and bounce back against Brabham. So that gap will just get a little bit too wide for those teams outside the 4, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's it for B division. On to C. Just a reminder, some milestones. If you've got any, drop them in there. And a big thanks to ID Athletic and Vision Decor for their support, not just tonight, but each and every Saturday.
C division.
Carlisle 5 for 152 over City Beach Green Range there. Rashad with 50, Desi David with 40 not out there. Welcome back, Desi. Good to see you. A great supporter of not just cricket, but our show. Plummer with 58 there for City Beach. Showers. A few blokes would have loved hitting the showers after the game Saturday. 30 and Aldous Shire 4 for 20, the best of the bowlers for Carlisle.
Yeah, Carlisle gone pretty well in that grade. That was a 2nd versus 4th game. Carlisle got the win, so they'll be pretty happy. It's a grade where the top 4's probably out of the reach of the bottom 4. Dianella, though, did have a good game on the weekend. They jumped from the 7th up to the 5th. They hit 8 for 165. Good child of 65 there. And Ellenbrook, a bit disappointed. They're struggling to get their teams up down there at the moment. So I don't know what's going on. Ellenbrook, very big suburb, 50,000 plus people, and they're struggling to get 3 cricket sides on the field.
Well, that might be a question for the boys from In the Sheds, a local community radio show out that way, because they do sports. And I know you've got netball, gridiron, soccer, multiple rugby, both codes. Maybe it's sporting overload out there.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not too sure. Again, it would be nice if a few people play cricket. You'd think that many people, you could maybe have 3 clubs out that way. A bit of competition, maybe. That's what they need. Maybe the Averley Cricket Club could start. I'm not too sure.
Oh my God, that is right. That. I was going to go inappropriate and reference missile strikes there, but I think a few bombs have been dropped in that salvo there. Look, running through it, Yukon Pilbara still on top, Carlisle, Bayswater Postals, and City Beach Green Range rounding out the 4 there.
Yukon still undefeated this season. Last year, Pilbara Lions went undefeated, lost the grand final. So Pilbara may want to drop 1 before the end of the season so they don't get that mocker on their back. So this week we've got Dianella and City Beach. So if there is a team that can quite make it, it might be Dianella. They play the 4-team City Beach this week. So that should be a big game there. That's on the other ground from where you're commentating, I think. So, maybe keep an eye on that one as well.
I will.
Of course.
I will. Oh, if I can.
And Carlisle plays Bayswater. So 2nd versus 3rd, these 2 are likely to play each other in the first final. So Bayswater may want to get a bit of an edge on them. It doesn't matter how far you finish 2nd. You've got to still play 3rd in the first final, and anything can happen in those games.
So for all the viewers out there, you've referenced it a couple of times, Pete. The finals kick off on the 18th of March. Don't worry, I'm not going to throw you under the bus. But we've gone top 4 across all of the grades, pretty much.
Yeah, that's correct.
For those new to the show or to Perth Swan, what is the finals format?
So
in general
due to how we can fit the season in, we play top fours, as Noel said. 1 versus 4, they get a home final, and then 2 versus 3. So
sudden death.
Sudden death. So it doesn't matter how far you finish on top. If the 14 comes and beats you on that day, that's just what happens. Just due to the weeks of the season this year, we also had Christmas, New Year's, so we didn't have enough time. But yeah, so the home teams are the top 2 sides. They get a home final. The team who gets through to the grand final, who is the highest qualified, will get to host the grand final.
Wow. So there you go, viewers. There is, look, not just each and every week, but as we head into the finals, and we'll come to that in a moment, not just as each and every week, but as we come into the finals, plenty of opportunities for people to get involved in different ways. All right, look, are we going to acknowledge that? I can't say it.
Okay.
We'll bring it up.
Coxie.
It works, yeah. Solid watch. Sorry, I couldn't mention your name right. Was 37 short of a half century. Oh, well,
Again, if you're the second top scorer of your team, you might get a mention. I'm not too sure what happened.
Top 1 or 2. That's all that we're.
But no, good on you, Coxie. Good to see you, and hopefully you're having a good season there down at Middle Swan.
Well, yeah, Josh. We did have a tough day in H grade. We'll come to that briefly later. B Division, top 4 are unchanged since Christmas. Glen Forest with 6 wins, the big movers over the break, moving up into 5th spot here.
Yeah. That is a big game this week, but we'll get to that at the end where they're playing. But what happened this week? We had Coolbinia, who's sitting second on the ladder. They played South Rossmore, and who's outside the 4. 2 for 118 was what they were chasing. 2 for 120. Mr. Candy got a 56 for Coolbinia. Maylands and Ferndale. Maylands, bottom of the ladder. They've picked up a couple of wins in the last few weeks, and they've beaten the top team, Ferndale. So bottom beat top. So well done there. So Maylands 9 for 184. Ular 47 not out. Patel 42. Xavier Miller 36 not out. And for Ferndale, we had Jay Quinn 45 not out and C Beaton 35. So good win there for Maylands. Sorry, what am I doing? Maylands lost. Sorry about that. Sorry, what am I?
Ferndale will be into us. We've taken a broadcast game off them. And
sorry, Ferndale.
We do love you. Speaking of which, Ferndale, David, please contact us about the game on the 25th if you want that at Shores, but you need to confirm it shortly. Okay, mate, we don't see this too often. The next game, a draw. Darlington 106 and SKLP 106 as well.
So both those teams sitting 3rd and 4th. The winner got a chance to move above the other one. No, draw. Draw. So no movement in the ladder there. But always good to have a draw. Hopefully there was no issues in that game. You know, there's close, tense games sometimes. I don't know if they had an umpire or not. You know, can get a bit fiery. But great to see both teams having a crack. But 105 probably not going to get you many wins, but for Darlington or whoever batted first, it's to come out there and defend that or nearly defend it was a really good effort. And the last game, against Glen Forest,
as a broadcast,
Helena Valley 79. Not a great day. Yeah, Warlow 5 for 21 for Glen Forest and Bouquet.
Now that's funny because you're as if. If you want to keep up appearances, it might be a Bouquet, but it is spelled bucket in the TV show, but it's Bouquet there, 3 for 7.
And Glen Forest did it pretty easy, 4 for 82. Bryce Hatch in a bit of form there, 46 on out. He smashed it the week before when we're playing on the opposite ground, and he did it the game before that too when we were on the opposite ground. So Hatch is in a bit of form down there, and that's probably why Glen Forest has started to get a few wins. And talking about Glen Forest and Darlington play each other this week. There's only 5 points there between 4th and 5th. So if Glen Forest gets another win there, they are jumping into the top 4.
Because it's 10 points for the win.
10 points for the win in the one day. So big game there. And an old Hills rivalry there between Glen Forest and Darlington. So
it is very much so there. And it's great to see the Perth Swan Cricket Association covering such a wide area of Perth. If you want to play cricket, there are still clubs looking. You might not qualify for finals, unfortunately, but lots of clubs looking for players. So still get involved. Check out Perth Swan Cricket Association on Facebook or through My Cricket.
Yeah.
Plenty of clubs across the whole area.
And again, playing sport, it's important for people's mental health or just physical well-being, getting around the club and having somewhere a bit of an outlet for people. So, yeah, even if you have missed most of the season, it's still come down to someone's training. There's plenty of clubs everywhere, as Noel said, to get down there, get involved. Every club loves to see some new blokes around. And, and most clubs, I'm sure, have a pretty good social scene as well. So, get down there. E Division. Well, this is a close competition. I think between second and seventh, there's 2 games or half a game or whatever it is.
Not a lot. Is there? Some movement though. Yoko and Pilbara may be dominant in the other grade, but have slipped from 4th to 6th here. Swanview taking. Hang on, that doesn't make.
No, I think they went from 4th to 2nd. I think, and then Swanview went from 3rd to 6th.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, bad. Well, that's why I need a statistician, because if you wanted to help prep the notes, I'm more than welcome to.
but talking about how close it is, as you said, Yokon's right up there at the moment. They play Swanview this week, and if Swanview beat them, Yokon can drop all the way to 6th. So you can drop them 2nd all the way down to 6th. That's how close the competition is. But let's have a look what happened last week. We had Mundaring, who I think moved into 2nd or 3rd. They beat Ascot. Chasing 114, some good performances there. Gow 3 for 17, and Terry Blur 3 for 21. I think Terry took his 100th wicket for Mundaring on the weekend as well. And then Martin got 41 for Mundaring. And
Droy took 2 for 14 for Ascot.
Donnell had a very big win for their season against Yokon.
Very big one there. And a name who was popping up regularly before the break. I read the write-up on Dianella's Facebook page, and they said they were mindful of heat for their older generation. So Shane Barros being heat managed in his latter years, but still having a positive impact there. 63 not out, Shane Barros for Dianella. 5 for 125, defeating Yoko and Pilbara. Muster 117.
Belmont played Midland. Midland only got 102, not a great score there. Belmont made that 8 for 1, so pretty close, 8 for 103. Yeah. Johnson 36, Peacock 25, and a couple of old some legends.
I just saw them.
Yeah, some absolute legends of the Swan Atlantic Cricket Association, but and top blokes too. Ray Keane 3 for 13, and Ian Boot 2 for 28.
Yeah, big shout out to Rose Rambooty, old time legends, and still kicking around.
It's great to see him out there playing.
Scene.
And some of you had the win over Forfeited from Caversham, so
I figured that based on what you told me before.
Yep.
All right, this week Ascot up against Midland. That one should go towards Midland, you'd expect.
You think Midland would bounce back? Yes.
Yoko and Pilbara up against Swanview. You fancy your chances, but I'm going to tip Yoko and Pilbara. Sorry, mate.
Oh, Swanview need to win. If they don't win here, they probably come at the final. So,
Belmont currently sitting on top, up against Mundaring 1v3.
Mundaring's a chance to go. I think there was one game missing there as well. That hadn't been put on the ladder. So Mundaring's a chance to go top of the ladder if they win this one. So, so that's a massive game. 1 versus 2. Belmont versus Mundaring.
Exciting time.
And then Dianella versus Caversham. Hopefully Caversham get a team up this week. But I'd say Dianella, depending on if Shane Barros is getting heat rested or not.
Well, Shane, I'll just put it out there. Should there be a heat forfeit or any forfeit, feel free to jump in the broadcast van with me out there this week. Love to catch up with you. All right, the F Troop, mate. You've got plenty of stats there. I must have printed off a. Oh no, you've brought the updated one.
You got the updated one. I had the one that wasn't updated. So
all right. So look, really, this in the F division is just the top 4 shuffling positions in and around.
Yeah.
Carlisle maybe with a sniff.
Yeah, Carlisle maybe. I think Carlisle's got a couple of. I think they've got Maylands this week who's second the ladder. So. They'd have to win that one to keep themselves alive. But some good performances. Western Wolves, one of the new clubs of the competition. Big win. 5 for 243. So well done there to the Western Wolves, and an easy win. They rolled Dianella up for 63. Dianella's struggling there with Mount Lawley at the moment. Brabham had a good chase, so they're top of the ladder at the moment. Brabham, they were chasing Carlisle's 5 for 152 and 2 for 153 there, and Chima 62.
Yeah, and Sandu with a 30 not out or 39 not out as well, so good knock there. Les Murdy Mazenod obviously getting the forfeit over Maylands, and Forestfield 2 for 171 defeating Mount Lawley Inglewood, as you said, having a bit of a tough season, rounding it out there. Cole McKean, another old boy there with not a hat trick, three for. And
George and Bates got 53 and 43 to guide Forest over the line. Interesting, Mayland second on the ladder and forfeited. You don't normally see. Normally you see the teams down the bottom, it gets a bit hot, and they go, "Oh, we might have the week off." But when you're trying to possibly get top spot and you have a week off, very interesting. Maybe the drive up to Mazenov was a bit up to Les Mooney there was a bit too far.
Over the years, I have sometimes questioned what goes through your mind, you know. But I guess if they...
again, there might have been a few going to the Scorchers game or something like that.
I mean, but the association, and on that front, you can't really say that's an excuse, because a number of games last weekend were moved to Sunday. Some were brought forward starting time-wise to allow people to go. So.
Yeah, and Les Moody was one club, so they were playing against Les Moody. Les Moody was one of the clubs pushing for that. They sent an email, I think it was last Sunday, and said, "Why don't we have a look at this?" And we thought, as long as both clubs agreed and we get access to the Oval at that time, we thought it was a good idea. So we allowed the club. I think Paul Lohman put the email out to the clubs and said, "If you can organise it, we're happy to do it." As you said, and there were a few games that did start early, and a couple played on Sunday. But I'm not too sure. Maybe it was just a bit too hot.
Maybe. Look, might have been too hot in the kitchen in G grade, because 2 games with no info whatsoever, and it doesn't say win or loss. Allenbrook v Yokine Pilbara and Carlisle v Bayswater Peasy.
Yokine definitely won. Allenbrook forfeited, but I don't know the Carlisle Bayswater. I'm not too sure what's happened there.
Well, Carlisle in fourth, you wouldn't imagine, and
Bayswater in third. So
Bayswater in third.
Would have been a big game, so I'm guessing they would have played.
No stats,
but not too sure. So please
enter
there, or Paul Lohman might be sending you a bill.
And they should be.
And then staying at...
Well, make it points. Start making it points as well. I'm putting it out there, viewers.
Again,
you get a couple of strikes.
Not trying to talk about the old, but Swanalena, we were all about the points. So we had a rule in the team who did it, points, did it again, the whole club lost points. And that, I can tell you, they got clubs moving. I can tell you that. Your A grade wouldn't be happy if they lost points because your G grade didn't put your score in. So,
and that's the thing that a lot of clubs, mate. I mean, we talk about culture, and we're, we'll come to H grade in a moment, but the attitude of certain people or different people isn't how it used to be about stepping up, marking lines, doing all those sundry things, and people just expect to turn up, play, go home, and the game works around them. There's lots of ways they can.
That's important. Definitely important. If you want your club to survive, you've got to just put a helping hand, and it might be taking the bin out at the end of the night. And it's a little thing that just takes a bit of pressure off the main people who do a lot of the work.
Half hour doing the stats. If you're down in a lower grade, not using the laptop to update it and transfer it, then. I used to do it at Middle Swan as the captain. It takes half hour, run through it, do it.
Yeah.
And then what we do can be so much smoother.
Yeah, there might have been someone who hit a big score for Bayswater Carl or took a fifer, and we can't mention them. So unlucky. All right, that's all good.
Nearly there. If you know of anyone in those grades that did do something worthy of a mention, let us know. Dianella, speaking of Dianella, on a roll, the Demons. 4 for 111. Ikram with 43, defeating Kulbinia. Chandra Lakai. I know I got that wrong. Chandra Tuckling.
Teleki? Yeah, I don't know.
We apologise.
Yeah.
If there's any viewers from the subcontinent who'd like to join us as a commentator, feel free.
And
Yeah.
in the other game, we got Scarborough and City Beach.
Oh, we're just abandoning that, are we? That's shameful.
City Beach all over 36.
Hang on, I'm putting my glasses on.
City Beach
I refuse to be beat. Chandrafaki. Chandralaki. I just couldn't see it because it's over there. I got my glasses on.
All right.
And they're upsize. All right. And you mentioned Scarborough, 4 for 89, City Beach doing it tough there.
36, yeah, a bit tough there. And Scarborough's top of the ladder. They'll play City Beach second last, so
and
that's
the
what
top
happens.
4 is all pretty much locked away.
Locked away.
Is Scarborough, Dianella, Bayswater, and Carlisle there in G grade.
With Scarborough and Carlisle 1 versus 4, so could be a replay of what happens in the first final. So they might want to.
Well, Coolbinia with a chance against bottom place Dallenbrook there as well.
Yeah.
Should Carlisle go down against Scarborough? Never know.
You never know. Keep themselves a chance.
All right.
And in the H grade, we had a few games here. So we had SKRP had a good win against Bayswater. Both those teams were fighting for the last spot in the top 4. SKRP 9 for 153, Vasani 31, and then Bayswater 151, and Gundaria 3 for 15.
Yeah, not bad at all. Look, Ferndale, some dominant performances here. Mullawarra Ritchie, 106 not out. Austin 39.
The young left-hander, that guy.
Austin?
I know the other guy, the
Mullawarra
Chichi. Yeah.
And well, I feel bad for Jeff Mann now because there was another 30 in there, and that was Catalunda. Snetton with 2 for 48. Dianella 133.
Dianella, they've only had the 1 win this year. They've won the week before.
But Catalunda and Austin both getting wickets with the ball.
And the last game there, Les Moody had a good win. Second on the ladder there, 7 for 197, Coppin 56, Anthony Lee 44, who worked to Nick Peake 4 for 31, and then Hamish McNichol 3 for 29, also got 45 in Middle Swans 145. Hinley 35, but then it was the old timer, so Les Moody, Ken Sigler 3 for 16, Jerry Lee 3 for 18, and Kenny Dawes. Good to see Kenny Dawes still going around 2 for 19.
There were some expressions of surprise that Kenny was still going around.
It's good to see Kenny still playing. It's good
and
man.
Joey
Kenny.
as well, old school.
Yeah, Joey, very, very good bowler back in his day.
But yeah, let's put that one to one side because thanks to Les Moody, Mazenod and Skits for agreeing to move it across. We were going to forfeit. I'm not sure if it would have worked out to our advantage psychologically just to go, you know what? But we felt Les Moody were also under the pump for numbers that day, and I was going to balk first.
And we got some big games this week. So Middle Swan take on the Red Hot Ferndale, and they wouldn't want to drop that one because then we get the top of the ladder very close there. And Les Moody's playing Dianella, so the Middle Swan were firing early. Hopefully they can hold it on there.
And I hate it when you got me over a toaster there.
And the other game, big game in this round is 4th versus Swanview versus SKLP. So if SKLP win, they can jump Swanview into the top 4.
Yeah.
Again, they do have a game in hand. Swanview's already had their 3rd bye of the season. So
well, some opportunities there, and it really is Peasy. We're down in H grade. It is the lowest level we have. It's not the lowest grade. Lots of experience in there, as we can see. But a lot of people sometimes just go, "Oh, it's so hard." Get out there, get involved, because there is still plenty of cricket, and it is when you're behind that, for me, as a former skipper and someone who's been involved in the elite level sport, it's all very well to be cocky and walk with a strut when you're on top and smashing everyone. the test of your character is when you're actually sitting down the bottom, you're struggling, and that was a test for us last week. As Les Moody has not put a strong side to the sword.
I think talking about levels and getting out there and playing, that's the reason why we have so many grades in our competition, because we do have a level for everybody. So it doesn't matter if you could be playing first grade, you can be playing H grade. It's still important, and it's still a level of cricket for everybody to get out there. So we want to see everyone of all abilities coming out and playing. It's not like we have a competition, it's only got 4 grades and that's who we care for. We've got a competition which has, what is it? Must be 16 or 15 grades, I think, or 14 grades. So, it's great to have cricket for everybody and get out there and enjoy it, and get out there with your mates or find some new mates and have a good time.
Yeah, trade in your mates. Look, speaking of mates, there's been a few celebrations over the off period. Like say off period, we really haven't had an off period, have we?
There's no off period.
There's no off period.
It just changes. Change what day and what we're Tuesdays or Wednesdays and things like that.
Before we come to the milestones, just to shout out viewers, if you've got any, PZ I can see has got a few on his side there. I've got some as well. If you've got any, jump online now. It's your chance to give someone at your club a mention. Or if your club's got an upcoming event, drop it in the comments as well, because we'd love to let the world know. But before we get into those, PZ, there's been a couple of competitions over the period.
So we had where Noel's been every Tuesday, the IDA Athletic Tuesday T20 competition, which is a great competition for our association. Allows players from outside our competition to be exposed to our competition, allows clubs maybe use it as a recruiting tool. But also to get out there and have something a bit different on a Tuesday night instead of going in the nets and playing with your mates. You can get out there and have a bit of a hit around. And we had a replay of last year's grand final, Carlisle versus Les Moody, back at Carlisle Reserve. I think Carlisle, they're always pretty confident, those blokes.
No replay of the result, though, PZ.
But no replay at all there. We had Les Moody bat first, 126.
Yeah.
Again, they're probably thinking, 126. That's not a great score of 20 overs.
I got called. Jesse Dar, experienced commentator, asked me my opinion. And before Carlisle went out to bat, I said, look, runs on board are always the king.
Definitely in a final. A bit of pressure comes, you lose a couple of wickets. And then 126, not a great score. And then Carlisle probably would have been probably a little bit up and about. Davey Thomason gets the 30 off pretty quick at the start, but it was the spinners came on and finished him off there. Ben Kerr 3 for 15 and Lucas Henderson 2 for 19. So, and we're all out for 89. So Les Moody, congratulations to Les Moody on the T20 win. And then we had the President's Cup. So Les Moody had a pretty big weekend, a pretty big week. President's Cup, we had SKLP, who, as we mentioned earlier, really hit the form when the one days came along, and they got to bat first. And I played at Maguire the day before, and it was slow. The grass was thick. I was thinking they haven't mowed this for 2 months, and I thought. Then I started looking at the score, and SKLP is going flying along, and they get to 8 for 232. Kush opens the batting is 74. Solanke 47. Again, Les Moody called on the spinners. A young fella, Pat Carney. 3 for 37, and Ben Kerr again, another 3 for. But then Les Moody were flying. So they went, we need to hit some quick runs. They sent Dan Shoesmith out there, and he got 61 off about, I think, 40 or 50 balls.
Yeah.
They were ahead of the run rate. They were cruising. Dave Kelly, the informed batsman of the association, 64, was batting really well, but then the tail just fell away. And as you said, runs on the board. Couldn't quite make it, SKLP, and SKLP got the win there. Balani, a 5 for 19, and Kush backed up his batting 3 for 40. So
Kush was Kush.
Kush was Kush. So, but yeah, well done SKLP, because they have gone down in the last 2 grand finals in the big competition at Les Moody. So maybe that was a bit of a monkey off the back for those guys.
Well, we'll find out. Now, there's a comment there, PZ. I
think it's Ishan Chetri. He took his 50th wicket for Ferndale in his 32nd match. Yeah, good little bowler, Chetri. I faced him this year. He's He's pretty handy. Ties the end up. Yeah. Gets a few wickets, so he's a good bowler.
Thanks for letting us know there, Peruska. Matt Peruska, good to see you on board. Now, before we do the milestones, one last thing. Cricket West was held as well, mate. Lots of talk about it.
Yep.
Tough competition, Perth Swan Cricket Association.
Yeah, again,
I didn't get where was my invite to the December thing too, by the way. Never got a reminder.
No? Oh, sorry. Sorry, no. You were invited.
Talk to your secretary.
Yeah, definitely. That Cricket West, a little bit disappointing. We didn't get a win in the Colts of the seniors. We were very close. I think the Colts went down by, 3 runs in a game. They lost another game in the last over. Went down by 20 runs to Waska. The seniors were pretty competitive in the second and third game. The first game was atrocious. We got belted by North Suburban, who ended up winning the competition. But yeah, disappointing. We got down to the last ball against Waska and couldn't hit the 6 to win the game. And then we just went down to South Metro as well. So again, thanks to the guys who played in there. Thanks for Tyler, who captained. Thanks to Big Tommy Kingsley, who captained the Colts. They did a great job for us. Lukey Otway, who stepped up as a team coach, team manager, Coach Carter, as he called himself, for the Colts team. But yeah, it's been disappointing. Next year we're going to change the side. We had a good chat to the senior boys afterwards. We had a bit of a plan how we selected the sides. We had a bit of feedback. How we selected the sides this year was we had chairman selectors, then we had some feedback from an umpire, an A grade player, or first grade, a second grade player and an A grade player. And we got around and then try to pick a squad. Next year we might pick a bit of a larger squad, get together so people get to know each other, have 2 sessions. So we had 1 session this year. We might try to do 2 sessions, but just so we can actually see. There's a lot of cricketers that the selection committee probably don't really know about. So and there was a lot of good cricketers who were unavailable as well. So I think if we can get our best side in the park, we can definitely be competitive. We weren't that far off. Went on the Vets. The Vets got made the grand final again. But yeah, sadly went down. They played Waska, didn't they? Yeah, in the final. Waska this year decided to pick a few more blokes closer to the age of 35 than the previous season, and our boys are probably a little bit older. So maybe we have to look at that as well. We've got a lot of good cricketers between that 35 and 40 age group, and possibly with a bit of a younger side, we can get back on the winners list. But again, our boys didn't do too bad, but maybe we can win. Go try to win all 3. That'd be nice. And talking
back into the days where we won.
Talking about the Cricket West 11, so they picked a squad, and in a squad of 24, and we've got 2 players left in the squad of 15. So well done to Damien Shepherd, Damon Shepherd. Sorry, not Damien Shepherd.
Mate, with the following he gets, he is a cold figure of Perth Swan, I tell you.
I'll just call him Shep. All right, Shep. So well done to Shep. He's been in the squad, and Dave Kelly's also in the extended squad as well. So well done, Dave. He deserves it after all the runs he's made this year. And Shep showed some good performances when he's been caught up at the Carlisle in the Community Cup. Carlisle won in the 3rd versus 4th game. He played well in those games. So well done to Shep.
Over 600 runs to Dave Kelly so far. And we'll look at the stats for every grade next week.
Yeah.
All right, now milestones, Peasy, we've mentioned it a couple of times. I'll just run through.
You run through those ones, and I'll run a couple of over there. Yep.
All right, from Carlisle, I'm aware. Joel Shaw, A grade captain. Big shout out to you, Joel. 3,000th run.
Well done.
Well done.
And Shorey.
This is where we go into telethon mode. Merv Nelson of Carlisle with $500 at an average of 17.8.
Also, a couple of weeks ago, played his 400th match. So well done to Merv. That's a great effort, 400 matches anyway. So well done.
It is indeed. And the man that has a Shep fixation, Will Kiley, 250 wickets racked up just recently.
Talking about Carlisle, actually, I forgot to mention this earlier. The Wags from Carlisle deserve a mention. On the weekend, very hot weekend, the Wags, there was about 6 or 7 of them running water at every couple of overs for the players on the field when they were fielding.
That is gold.
So well done to the Carlisle ladies there. yeah, I'm not going to say other ladies pick up your game, but Carlisle, congratulations on getting the ladies out there and getting the water out. I think the Sunview boys were pretty impressed.
Wow, that is a great, and it takes a team to get a team out on the park.
Yeah.
So well done. Look, Belmont, Dylan not Selfie as he was called in the colour broadcast, 200 games there, and Damien Broander, the captain, racking up 150 games recently for Belmont. We mentioned Melv Meyer's 900th wicket earlier.
Yeah, well done to him.
And just two, I'll mention Forest Fields. I said they've got the 80s night, 18th of Feb, so next Saturday night. If you're in the Hartfield area and love your 80s, disco balls, glam rollers, skates, I remember them all. I've tried many times to wipe them out. I can't forget them. And Dianella, we know they're going well, but maybe they're going well because they're offering a jackpot draw at cricket training. Thursday nights, it's been going up and up and up because
the winner's never there.
The winner's
so
not there.
If you're not there, you don't get the $500. So if you, so they write it on a board, they take a photo, and they go, "Bad luck, mate, you weren't there." So jackpot. Some others talking about Dianella, they had a few milestones recently. Graham Perrich, he played 500 games. Okay. Graham Lloyd 400 and Brendan Drake 300. So what in there at Dianella. Mount Lawley also had a few. Matt Butler, their leading games player of all time, 300 games. Cam McCulloch 200 and Dave Fairbrother 200.
Wow.
Jay Forbes of Forest 150. Again, this is very telethon, isn't it? Sean Saunders, Ellenbrook 150, and Matty Parnham from the Swanview Cricket Club played his 100th first grade game a couple of weeks ago. He's only the 12th player at Swanview to ever play 100 first grade games.
Wow.
So it's a very exclusive club there at Swanview. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Maybe after a couple of seasons playing with me, you didn't want to be there anymore, or someone else. I'm not too sure.
Opportunities.
Yeah.
But no, there's some great milestones. PC, any others?
No, that was all there. I had the Mel one, but you already had that one there. So
Mel and 900 wickets is a great performance there.
Couple of before I see you got a couple of other mentions there, but a couple of cricket mentions, as I mentioned earlier. Players need 6 weeks qualification. So if they haven't played already, they can still play the rest of the season. They're just not going to be able to play in the finals. And we're going to be putting out a player survey to the competition. We might talk about that in a bit more next week because we're running out of time now. But so on My Cricket, if you haven't updated your own email, get on there and make sure it's up to date so you can be part of the survey we're going to send out to all the players in the coming weeks.
Well, look, there's still just, before we wrap up, just one more cricket, well, two more in fact. First of all, between us, Peasy, well done to the Scorchers. Go Scorchers.
Yep. Well done. That was a sensational game. So
lots of people there, big atmosphere. You there?
No, I was playing cricket at the time, but 54,000 people at the stadium would have been great. My son and daughter went along, and my son's name's Cooper. And when the whole crowd's Cooper, he thought it was pretty good. So and then for the Scorchers to win, it's great. Again, we're lucky to get 53,000 for the last 10 years in Test match cricket, but when the Scorchers come out, the West Australians always get behind their side. So
they do.
Which is good.
And a great atmosphere there at Optus. It is currently this week we've been seeing, unfortunately, we weren't able to make it happen. It is the National Cricket Inclusion Championships. So the different states for the blind and vision impaired stateside, Venetians for WA. I love that name.
Venetians, right, yeah. I was wondering why that was written there, but now that makes sense.
That's their team name, the Venetians, the blind West Australian inclusion side. Almost guaranteed, in fact, I would say guaranteed to make the grand final.
That's great.
So great to see the deaf and hard of hearing side up against, I think it's Queensland tomorrow. They're all in Queensland, these matches. And if they win that tomorrow, WA, they'll go into the grand final in the Hard of Hearing deaf competition.
I did see the other day you interviewed Corey Booth, who used to be a player in the Swan Atlantic competition. So it was good to see.
He's over there representing.
Yeah.
And the intellectual disability side playing as well. And before I forget, a big shout out, Boyd Duffield is retiring. He is the most capped player with a disability. He's played 19 times for WA, 15 times for Australia.
Okay.
And he's over in Brisbane at the moment with his teammates taking part. And he said, I was at the function before they went out, and he announced his retirement, and it was so heartwarming to see. So, Boyd Duffield, congratulations, mate. A great career.
A great effort, yeah.
And a great performance. You've had a big impact on a lot of people. And he's a very shy and modest guy who just accepts the compliments and says thank you.
Oh, that's good.
A skill I need to learn. Not that I ever get any compliments. All right, so that's it from a cricket perspective. Just a couple of quick shout outs before we sign off. Unlucky to Perth Heat. I went down, if you're a baseball player or fan, Heat going down to Adelaide 5-2.
Yeah, I think people were up and about on Friday when they won that first one, but yeah.
Always hard away. Local clubs here in WA, the Gordo Webb Cup. It is a charity fundraising match between Swan Districts and Morley baseball clubs. That's down just across the road here. I shouldn't tell them where the studio is, but just across the road there in Swan Districts, Charlie Hodder Reserve there for the Gordo Webb Cup. And right now, WA as well taking part in the National Lacrosse Box Nationals. Do you know what box lacrosse is, please?
No idea.
All right, any viewers out there? I'll give you 5 seconds. No, that is indoor.
Okay, indoor lacrosse.
Yeah, indoor lacrosse. So basically with nets, like ice hockey, but instead of glass, it's got nets, so it comes back in and play on. And,
okay. Never heard of it, but I'm sure that'd be good fun.
Maybe. Well, it's played at the Speed Dome up here on Friday night.
Okay.
So plenty of sports to cover on the Community Sports Show each and every week. If you'd like to be involved, just as Peasy's helped here tonight with this show, Peasy, if you'd like to be involved as a commentator, reporter, statistician, content creator, whatever you think you can do that will help, I'd love to hear from you as we get set for the finals. Because Peasy just 5 more weeks. So 5 more weeks.
Yeah, so two days and halfway through those, and 5 1-days for the 1-day grades. And cheers, Noel. Thanks for all the work you do. You're doing a great job, and you've got some big games up in the broadcast starting this week at Helena Valley and Dianella. So
yeah, well, as we wind up for the finals, it is an opportunity for you to get involved. It is easy, and we'll provide you with the equipment. You just need to be able to talk a little bit and enjoy yourself while you do it. Okay, Saturday, as Peasy said, I'm out at Dianella for that round 17, I feel like saying.
That sounds about right.
Match
between
Dianella and Helena Valley. Next week, Peasy back here, same time.
Same time, and we'll go through the stats of all the players before they go into lockdown and
don't mention that word here.
Yeah, so there'll be no lockdowns in WA, hopefully, Mr. McGowan.
No. Look, thanks, Peasy. Thanks to everyone who jumped online. Thanks to everyone who's followed us through the break. ID Athletic T20 Cricket West, President's Cup, lots of stuff going on, Community Cup as well. And on that front, just keep your eyes open. I haven't been able to confirm it yet. The phone has beeped a few times. I'm waiting on some very exciting news because I may very well have an international player in the commentary box.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, I've given a little tease, just a little tease there. Next weekend. So
here we go.
exciting.
All right.
Andy Malman was on the mark though. All right, viewers, wherever you are, take care, stay safe, Peasy. Who have you got this week?
We're playing Ascot. I'm in the
top side.
I'm in the second side.
Just tease.
I'm a bit off for the top side.
DC's still playing. Look, thanks everyone, wherever you are. Me, Noelzy Johnson. If you can join me Saturday, get in touch. If not, Peasy, we've got a couple of slots left, end of Feb, early March. If you want to book those dates, feel free to. Otherwise, we will book them based on ladder positions. So if your club's got an event, let us know now, or you risk missing out ahead of the finals. Wherever you are, take care, stay safe, be nice to yourself. But each and every time I say it, I mean it. More importantly, be nice to those around you. Bye for now.